it's time for more Friends Make Me Play! And we have to do day 1 of Turnabout Samurai! Let's fucking do this. We gotta do it. We've gotta get him.
We'll get him.
We gotta fucking get him. Oh, it's Edgeworth again.
Yep.
I need a drink.
Sippies.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Wheelpowers.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. I don't remember the voice I was doing. I think this is it.
You're close to what you're doing.
Good enough.
Good enough. The prosecution will show that the court at 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Wheelpowers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to that as a fact.
I see. Pretty well, I would like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness.
Very well, I called a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand.
What's up, Gumshoe?
What's up, buddy?
How's your face?
I did steal that from Luca Jane, just so you know.
Ah!
Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court.
Yes, sir, I'll explain with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio. See, this here's the employee area. The actors that are run through their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. Security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security station, here's a gate, you see? Past that are the studios. Here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 p.m., security lady got to the guard station. Now jump ahead to later that day, 5 p.m. Production staff came to Studio 1 to perform rehearsal. Needless to say, rehearsal was cancelled. Time of death was 2:30 p.m. Samurai spears found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. I totally didn't fuck up saying that word. That's the case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? To listen to the whole thing again?
No.
No, I got it.
Skip it.
Skip it. We got it.
We got it.
You could probably remember that. So the murder weapon was a spear. How medieval. Samurai spear added to the court record.
Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question, and that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see?
Understood.
Let's call this security officer to the stand.
It's time.
Will the witness declare her name?
My, aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered.
Your name, please.
Ma'am, I like men.
She's also clearly married.
Oh, dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma.
Your name, please.
Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witness to say their names.
Wendy Oldbag, dearie. Just call me Grandma. It's practically my name. When I was young, I was an old bag, and not just a name, dearie. The other children make fun of me because of my name. Can you believe it? But there was this boy, the captain of the chess club at junior high, and when he called me old bag, he had a crush on him, and I cried.
Objection! I object to the witness's talkativeness.
Objection sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand.
Let's just get into the good part, dearie.
Perhaps we can get to the testimony.
Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct?
Yes, he was.
To give the murder, someone would have to pass by you.
You know your stuff, dearie.
You may begin your testimony.
She sure is one hell of an old bag.
That's why I wanted you to be Wendy.
Oh, because of the fast talking?
Well, no, because of she likes Edgeworth. So it'd be weird to do that myself. Both sides of that.
On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest of them had been doing a run-through of there since this morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1 when I got to the guard station. It was at the main gate from then until 5. Now, the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked by me at 2 p.m. It was Powers, the man right there, and he was heading towards the studio.
You saw the defendant then? Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. Okay, so... Around 1 p.m. we knew that. Poor old Harry had been doing a run-through of this since morning. We knew that. I had some errands to run that morning. I wanna... What the fuck is up with that? What kind of errands?
Eh, well, you know.
Answer the question.
Actually, I was watching poor Hammer and Powers, observing you now.
Observing? Weren't you supposed to be at the guard station?
Whippersnapper, I told you I locked the gate, didn't I? I did my job.
I'm not sure your boss would see it that way.
Anyway, I always watch Hammer's run-throughs, always. Never missed one in all my years.
Wow, I want to see a Steel Samurai run through too.
You quit being a spirit medium and take up guard duty.
Not a bad idea.
1 p.m. when I got to the guard station, was at the main gate from then until 5. Watching the whole time, no breaks, not even a second.
Of course! I'm a professional, you know. Are you criticizing how I do my job, whippersnapper?
No, it's just after seeing you eating those donuts at the guard station yesterday.
I can watch the gate and eat donuts at the same time. Snipper-wapper!
Snipper-wapper? Old Windbag is losing it, Nick.
Why would you raise an objection? This was on duty through the afternoon, the whole time. But anyway, what did you see? Murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? No! Well, I mean, we don't know that.
Check the autopsy report.
Because I was gonna say, we know...
Well,
That's when he died. We don't know that that's when the murder happened. I'm not gonna press that, but just yet. Certain man ran a walk by me at 2 p.m. It was Powers, that man right there. It's this is the bit, I think. So you saw Mr. Powers.
That's what I said. Got wax in your ears, Sonny?
Nick, this is your chance.
Now time to pull out the secret weapon.
I'll say it again. It was him.
Let me get this straight, old bag, or Miss Old Bag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. What is this exactly? None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo Old Tokyo. Miss Old Bag, is this the Mr. Powers that you saw?
Of course! Didn't your mama teach you any sense, Sonny? Anyone can plainly see that that's Powers, right?
No, they can't. Well, I mean, I wonder.
True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai.
I know that! I wasn't born yesterday!
No, this court is accusing you of that, Miss Witness. Whoa! Shade. Having trouble calling her old bag, apparently. Yeah, but you don't have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you?
Yeah, knows the old man. Of course I have proof.
What?
Huh?
Even Edgeworth is surprised!
The prosecution would like to ask the witness.
They're all so mean to her.
Please make it known all the information in your possession ahead of time.
How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me this isn't any good as evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look.
Wow, old Windbag's left even Edgeworth speechless. She's good. Say about your proof, then.
I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning, during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his leg. You see? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers, Happy.
No! I spotted it!
What'd you see?
Sprained his ankle. You said he broke the prop! But the prop was the murder weapon and it was in one piece!
It could have been a prop murder weapon. A prop.
Could have been a prop.
I practice prop.
Practice prop. Gotta be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals.
Jesus, Phoenix.
Damn.
Well, we should do what Phoenix says.
Well, I don't need to do that. Through the action scene. Trip and fall?
Yes, and to think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai would laugh. So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course.
You helped to make it better?
I kissed it where it hurt.
Whoa! Where was the assistant then?
Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. Didn't know about Powers' ankle.
You might continue your testimony.
Broke a prop?
Sure did, his own samurai spear.
Samurai spear? Their murder weapon?
Luckily I was there with my duct tape to fix it.
Strikes me as a significant detail. I better write this down in the court record. Break the shaft with duct tape. Apparently he sprained his ankle pretty bad.
I think we've heard enough. Haven't we, Your Honor?
There's one thing that bothers me.
Which is?
Here's this steel samurai costume now.
Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking though. Anyway, that's not important. The witness did see the steel samurai, yes. And it's as clear that the person in the steel samurai suit was Will Powers.
I suppose that's right. You sure, Your Honor?
Well, we know our client's innocent. Because, like, if it was busted, it's probably not the actual murder weapon. Like, there's no blood on it.
There is no blood on it.
Like it could have been wiped, but, like, we don't get into blood shit until...
Yeah.
Fucking...
That doesn't... I don't know, that doesn't feel right. Hold it right there. We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the steel samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Will Powers. Defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else wasn't caught on camera who could have killed Mr. Hammer. You have to consider that possibility also.
And allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please?
No need to ask twice. Time of poor Ham's death was 2:30 p.m. True, the only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them.
No one else went to the studio. Then it would have to be the steel samurai who did it. Mr. Wright may cross-examine the witness. Before Hammer said it was 2:30 p.m. True, yes. Only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. What about before you got to the guard station?
You mean before one? Well, everyone was in the employee area before then. And I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Not to mention, if they had, I would have seen them.
Are we sure about that?
Are you sure?
The witness has answered the question. Anyone going to the studio had to pass by the witness.
That's right, Sonny. You let him have it, edgy boy.
Edgy boy?
Old Windbag sure has balls, or, well, you know what I mean.
All windbags have a way of skipping over important details, after all. Or for that matter, entirely forgetting them.
How convenient.
Something for you to look forward to, perhaps. It's gotta be...
I wish this was like the later games where it showed you which statement you were on.
Yeah.
Well, well, don't you remember what's funny about...
Oh yeah, this is photo number 2. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
But
no one else went there. Is it on here, maybe?
You have multiple correct options for this one, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's this one.
Because it says photo number 2.
Yeah. No, I know that. Yeah. Hold on. Look at this photograph one more time. Look at this photograph! One brain cell!
Don't worry, the fandom makes that joke too.
This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct?
Yes, sirree, Sonny.
So whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture.
And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground.
Right, anyway. It's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data.
Yeah, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening. That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the photo are the printed words, October 15th, 2 p.m., photo number 2. But I know it means it's taken at 2 p.m. on October the 15th. Really, Sonny? Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says photo number 2. Photo number 2? Computer only held data for 1 photo that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo number 1 if it really was only the 1 photo?
Order! Order! Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright.
Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not 1, but 2 people went to the studio that day, yet there's only data for 1 of the photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access, the security lady herself. Me? You want your mouth, whippersnapper? The only person I saw that day was Real Powers. But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by. Well, yes, that's what it would seem to mean.
Can the witness explain this to the court?
I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help!
But believe me, I don't want to know what this means either.
Some help you are. You're a whippersnapper too. Whippersnapper?
Something the matter, Miss Oldback?
Oh, that's right. I just remembered something.
Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate. Someone other than the Steel Samurai.
Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way.
I see. Your testimony, please.
Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and I check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it now, I remember throwing out 1 photo that day.
But what was on the photo? Miss Oldbag, this is the first I've heard of this.
Well, of course, Sonny. I've only just remembered it.
Right, but anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination.
Well, I'd say this was a turn for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this.
Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. Go through the 3 records. Check them. How exactly do you determine what isn't suspicious looking? You can tell by looking at their faces, for the most part. For the most part? This is a murder trial, Miss Oldbag. I didn't touch that suspicious looking Real Powers photo, did I?
I think she's missing the point. Okay, but... Well, who in the heck was in the photo you erased?
Him, a fanboy.
Fanboy?
Steel Samurai fanboys, real freaks if you ask me. Get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. No one was there that day.
Wait a second, didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words.
Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area. The grate has been loose for a while. It leads outside, and well, that's where they come in.
They come in through the drain?
I told you they were freaks. Oh, and they're kids. Children. Whippersnappers.
Kids? So on the photo that you erased,
it was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade.
What? Order! Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on the way to the studios that day. One was the Steel Samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be about 2nd or 3rd grade.
Oh, yes, we see this type every day. Can't stop them, can't catch them.
A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade, I assume that it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear.
Impossible, I'd think. Quite heavy.
Right, as I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data.
Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there, that makes him a suspect.
Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him.
This court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider the new information. No forgetting vital information this time. Seems like everybody does that.
I'll bet.
Mr. Powers? Yes?
Tell me straight.
Are you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio?
I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping, honest.
So who was the
So,
Steel...
so who was in the Steel Samurai in the security photo?
How should I know? Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really.
What? You should take better care of that stuff.
I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume. Where does this leave me?
It doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now.
Nick, what are we going to do?
Well, first you play for more time. Start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done it.
Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day.
Right, but if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot.
You don't sound very optimistic.
I'm not optimistic at all, actually.
Hey, Nick, it's time.
Okay, let's go.
What does that mean? Please don't sigh like that. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you please present the prosecution's thoughts on the matter?
The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence. But there's still no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant to Mr. Will Powers.
Very well. Mr. Wright, your thoughts?
Defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed the crime. I take it we're not framing the child. Are we framing the child?
I don't quite remember.
Here you have in mind, however. Be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you'll be penalized.
Right, great. As if the stakes weren't high enough.
Who was the person that Mr. Bowers could have committed the murder?
Well, it couldn't have been...
A grade school boy's too short.
Yeah, he would have... It couldn't have wielded the spear. Security lady. Or the assistant girl.
It would have to be someone that knew about his limp. Fucking up his ankle.
So it'd be only the security guard, because the assistant girl, she said she wasn't there. She was...
Yeah, she wasn't there, and the boy was not tall enough.
Yeah, so it had to have been the security lady. She also could have gotten around the cameras, too.
Because she knows how they work.
Exactly. Yeah, I think the security lady's the best bet. There's a security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Who? Steel Samurai's dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run-through. There's only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady, Oldbag. What? Whippersnapper.
Order! Order! This is true, Oldbag.
Oldbag? It's Miss Oldbag to you. Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume, then slipped into Studio 1 at the scene of the murder.
Why would she go through the trouble of wearing a Steel Samurai costume?
Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. She was in his costume. She could point the finger at Mr. Powers.
I see! Excellent detective reasoning, Mr. Wright.
Oh yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes II, baby!
Well, Herlock Sholmes.
That's weird. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection and some new damning evidence?
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter?
The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time.
What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it? Is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there, do something! It's my move. I mean, that's my chance to take this the whole way. I mean...
If we give her a break, there's no, like... Wouldn't that just mean we're, like, backing down?
It would, but, like... I mean, we could?
I mean, like, she's the only lead we have right now on who actually did it, so if we don't fucking... She sucks. She's a fucking boomer.
Yeah, fair. Very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers the suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions that day. But why would I do something so horrible to pull a hammer? You forget Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive, too.
Indeed.
I did it. Now Windbag's one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope.
Wait just a minute. What about the other person who entered the studio? The boy! The one whose photo I erased.
You're in grade school of those, you said. 2nd or 3rd grade, was it?
Well, that doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10-second stops.
Your thoughts, Mr. Wright?
That boy is not the killer.
What? How can you be so sure? Or is it... Oh, or is it be nice to the kids and mean to your eldest day, whippersnapper?
I have proof.
Proof?
Indeed. Let's see the proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder.
I do?
You have a couple of
Oh,
options.
the card key.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scene of the murders, we all know, is Studio 1. However, you need bless you.
Thank
You
you.
need a card key to enter Studio 1.
The spear being too heavy also would have been a valid option.
Yeah. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studios have a card key? I see. Would the witness care to comment on this?
Yeah.
The windbag speechless. This is gonna be a first. Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Mr. Windy. What was her name?
Something old bag, Your Honor.
And the prosecution will look further into this odd old bag before we continue. That is all. This court is adjourned. Fuck yes. I'm so smart.
Wait a second.
Oh, the Steel Samurai theme.
I'm not going to just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me? I'm talking.
Oh, great. Stop the presses. The windbag wants to talk.
Miss Old Bag, what's this all about? You omitted something from your testimony?
Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about.
Not to talk about?
But whom?
Huh. You know, it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Well, testify.
Okay.
Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're going to be accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free.
Miss Old Bag, this is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now?
Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told.
Bootlicker.
This isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the old bag.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. Who are these people?
Well, the director and the producer, for starters.
The director?
We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director? Of course.
Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it.
So where were these people?
Director's in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime. They had a meeting after that.
Where?
Oh, the Studio 2 trailer.
Studio 2? There was a Studio 2?
Yeah, it was on the map.
Yeah.
If you look at the guide map, here it is. Go through the gate and all the way to the left.
Path of the monkey's head was falling over.
Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue cross-examination?
I think I've already asked all my questions, but...
We can I mean, we know that there's other people there, so we don't have to continue.
Yeah. Your Honor, we've learned there were others at Global Studios on the day in question. Director and the producer and some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers.
Court acknowledges the defense's point. Prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Old Bag, and more information about these other people we've just been told of.
I understand, Your Honor.
Since the day's proceedings of the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That's all. This court is adjourned.
Bingus bongus, baby. Perfect record! I'm doing so good!
Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me.
Really, it's nothing. Or should I?
We'll be going down to the studios to do some more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination.
So, Nick, have we figured out just who was in that Steel Samurai costume? Could it really have been old Windbag?
What do you think, Mr. Powers?
I don't think it was her, really.
Neither do I, Nick.
Yeah, I know. Look, I was buying time back there.
King of bluffing.
Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers.
Poor old Windbag. I feel kind of sorry for her.
Well, she wasn't winning any points in there with her without my accusation. Alright, let's get down to the studios.
Right. We'll be back to visit you soon.
Thanks. Thanks, guys. He's so sweet. He's like such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Fucking good dude.
He's a good dude.
We'll save our progress. Well, that's that for that, ladies and gentlemen. Next time, we start day 2 of our investigation. We try and figure out who the fuck was in that stupid costume this whole time.
Yeah.
If I can get their ass.
We'll get their ass.
We'll do it. Goodbye!
Goodbye!